Hi Sagittarius. This is for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon and Risings. This goes into the astrology and the tarot of the month of April. I hope you're all doing very well. I hope you're all surviving in quarantine, lockdown, wherever you are, whatever the situation is there. I hope that you have a very healthy month. Now, Sagittarius, let's get into the astrology first and foremost. There's a lot of stuff that's going to feel very good. Aries season is, of course, fellow fire energy. And that fire energy is occurring in a very creative, a very loving, and a very playful side of the sky for you. So no matter what your physical situation is, there is a lot of joy to be had. There is a lot of moments in April that feel very sparky, very sparkly, very fun, very gregarious, very exciting. And also from the 3rd of April right up until August 7th, because we will have the every 2-year Venus retrograde in the sign of Gemini, which is your partnership sector. So this year is looking very interesting as far as love goes. Now, right up until the retrograde begins on May 13th, April is a month to enjoy love. Even whether you are single or not, it is a time to, because Venus in Gemini is very much to do with online dating, so it's really a good time to get chatting to people, get to know people, figure out what it is that you want in relationships. The Moon and the 8 of Cups, there is some kind of past endeavor that you need to move forward from. The full moon in Libra will occur in your 11th house on the 7th or 8th of April, depending on where you are. And for you, a lot of Sagittarians could find that a certain friendship in particular needs to be stepped away from, even if it feels very hard, or you're thinking quite significantly about a past friendship that could reappear in April, and you need to make peace with that situation. Perhaps extending the olive branch to have that conversation, perhaps making peace with what happened in your own mind. Mars is in Aquarius now, and it squares off with Uranus in Taurus. Taurus being your house of habit. Mars in Aquarius being your communication sector. Means you need to articulate something in your life that's just no longer working for you. 5 of Pentacles. Perhaps it is to do with excess spending. Perhaps it is to do with just a lack of fulfillment in your career, in your job, in your body, in your health. You really need to change something significant there. And this full moon in Libra is going to perhaps see you deciding that something you thought you really, really, really wanted doesn't seem so exciting anymore. It doesn't seem as glorious, and you're ready to do something a little bit more fulfilling. Temperance, your energy. You're ready to restore a bit of balance and get in touch with your emotional life. Many people feel like their dreams have been halted, but in reality this is more to do with looking inward and fine-tuning. And even reassessing, and some people will find that the things they thought were so big and so exciting and so bold and so important are not so anymore. Now, Pluto will retrograde on the 25th in your financial sector, but until then, the energy of Jupiter, your ruler, conjunct Pluto in your financial sector is saying that if it is money that you are after and you're after it in a big way, now is the time to... now is the time to stop rejecting the thing that makes you feel fulfilled. And it could be a lot smaller than the grand dreams. We know how you shoot arrows into the distance and you go after them, but this is asking you to sharpen your arrows, to figure out what way the wind is blowing, to figure out what direction you need to point in. There's no room for being careless, particularly surrounding money. For some of you, you feel a little bit like an opportunity has been missed because of an action of yours rather than an action in the world. Feels a little bit like you missed something, probably because you took too long to make up the decision, and now you're getting a time to revisit it, particularly if it's a partnership that you're longing for, that you're missing. or someone that you wanted to be more than friends, and you feel like you've passed up that opportunity, you're weighing up the options on how to go get it again. You will have that opportunity. Venus will go retrograde in your partnership zone. If you need to revisit someone, there's every opportunity for a second chance, particularly if you were the one that did the rejecting. Now, if you were rejected, the 10 of Cups following the 4 of Cups is saying that rejection is protection. With the Moon and the 8 of Cups, I feel that Ten of Wands. I feel that since the eclipse in Cancer, which is your 8th house of endings, I feel that there is the painful feeling of something that was familiar, no longer being familiar, that has passed since January. And you need time to heal from that, but you cannot reject the prospect of happiness finding you again. That's important. So, 8 of Pentacles. As we move to, I'm just going to move these so you can see them. As we move to Taurus season towards the end of April, and we look closer at your habits, particularly, as I say, spending, we look at where you've maybe been overworking and where you're figuring out at the moment just how tired you really are. You're not a sign that deals well with being tired. You're not a sign that deals well with feeling burnt out, but as a fire sign, every so often, Sagittarius, it happens. And you get your energy from freedom, King of Wands. I think you're figuring out where you could glow up a little bit, where you could take better care of your body, of your skin, and we will move forward in Taurus season to a calmer, easier time. And until then, you need to figure out what it is that you're discovering, because there is some skill to be discovered here that is making you so very fulfilled. And I am telling you, in Taurus season, you're going to, particularly around the new moon in Taurus on April 22nd, when the Sun in Taurus is squaring off with Saturn, Saturn being in Aquarius, of course. Again, that communication and your habits. What is it exactly that you need to communicate? Because Taurus energy and Aquarius energy are going to square quite a lot going into Taurus season. And that for you is your articulation of needs, your articulation of the things that you could change. And oftentimes you're very good, as I say, at shooting those arrows and going after them, but your body is trying to tell you something. It wants you to eat more greens, it wants you to drink more water, it wants you to stop doing something in excess, it wants you to stop doing something in restriction, whatever it is, it's going to be screaming at you around the 3rd week in April. Towards the end, it's going to be screaming at you. And you have an opportunity here to move forward into something quite, as I say, there's a process here of moving into something quite healing. And I do think for a lot of you it's physical, because your sector of health is going to be agitated by Aquarian energy, and that is to do with words. And I think as well, you could be very careful in how you speak about your health, how you speak about your habits, how you speak about your day-to-day routine. All of it's being listened to and all of it's coming back to you. It's an echo chamber. What you're speaking out is coming back. It's an echo chamber. So, 4 of Cups, 10 of Cups. What is it that you're rejecting that looks so good, so promising? It could be to do with a water sign. Could be to do with an earth sign, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But if you are a Sagittarius with a heavy presence of female energy in your life, they're going to be holding back nothing with you. They're going to be really, really, really clear on what you need to do to change, especially if it's surrounding your emotional communication. You have great potential this month to hurt feelings with your bluntness. It is very sharp, and the water signs and the earth signs may not understand it as humor, because actually they're sensing with you, it goes a bit deeper. It goes to feeling like your needs aren't being met. It goes to feeling like you're giving, and quite possibly missing somebody, quite possibly missing your family. And the way that you're handling it could be by being sharp. Careful of that, because people will tell you. There is some kind of darkness, I think, that you're manifesting in terms of negative habits, and I think that they could leave you very lonely if you're not careful, but they could also cause some healing, particularly with a Leo person in your life, if you say how you really feel. You need to say how you really feel, but you need to make sure it's coming in a place of warmth and kindness, and the agenda is peace, not war. The agenda is peace, it's not victory, because peace is a victory. Eight of Swords, Five of Swords. Yes, it's peace, not victory. You want Four of Swords and the Knight of Cups, particularly if you're looking for love. Particularly if you're looking for connection. And especially if that's with a water sign, head to head. You guys have more in common than what separates, so you be careful of, yes, Knight of Swords. Your communication is everything, Knights rule messages. And it seems to me, Sagittarius, that your words have big power this month. They have a lot of weight attached to them. People are wanting to know what you're going to say. People are wanting to know what you're going to do. The truth of the matter is that you feel a little bit lost, and it's okay that you feel a little bit lost sometimes, and it's okay that your optimism takes a dip from time to time. You can feel that through, even though this is supposed to be the funnest part of the year for you and everything's looking a little bit introspective. You will have those big moments, particularly leading up to October, of joy, of fun, of creativity, of love, of romance. Those big things, those big energies are coming up. But make sure that you are not expressing yourself through sarcasm, through hurtful words in order to get the reaction that you're hoping for, because the truth is a lot of people want to love you really. A lot of people love you authentically. It's just that you might not be able to see that. You're a gregarious social sign and put into modes of restriction like any animal that is restricted, and this is why we should stop zoos. Any animal that is restricted loses its spark. It loses its zest for life. It's put in a cage, it's trapped, and you can't go through that. This is a temporary matter, and you have things that you need to be setting up for the next 6 months to come. If you've forgotten, you are a King of Wands. This is not gender specific, as we always say, but this is to do with having your own personal power, having a healthy sense of ego. And not reading too much. The future is not fixed, but you are setting it up as we speak. Don't lose sight of the 10 of Cups. I know that you can't see it right now, but it's coming. Love you, Sagittarius. I will see you in the extended. Take care.